insightful. We intend to do due diligence on the ManageEngine OpManager Plus, which is the network monitoring solution. And this is because it's been a popular request from our partners, right? Everyone wants to ensure that their network is up and running so that it will not disrupt the business of the day. So in leaving this presentation today, I'm working with my colleague here, Ayomide Ajesa. He's a specialist on the ManageEngine network monitoring solution, right? I'll be also dealing on the aspect of how to pitch the solution, right? And it's also going to come in and put some addition to what what I've said. So if you have any question, please use the chat box. You can type in your questions, and we'll also give an opportunity for some of our partners that want to ask questions directly at the end of the session, at the end of the presentation, sorry. So you can ask your direct questions, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. So right away, we'll start the presentation. Okay, so like I said earlier, based on the popular demand, we observed that the financial institution tends to be the one that requests more of this solution, right? Because then they actually do it more of ensuring they want to ensure that their network, their facilities, their app, and then whatever tool they are using to service their customer is up and running. And should there's an issue, they want to get a real-time alert on what is about to happen within their environment. So if you are looking at OpManager Plus, if you are looking at having real-time alert on whatever is happening within your network, then the right solution to go for is the OpManager Plus. Sorry. So yes. So if you want to pitch, ManageEngine OpManager to a financial institution, there are some key things that you need to look at. Things that will drive the customer's attention. One, uptime of trading and banking apps, transaction speed, compliance, and customer's experience. So you can imagine this now. Let me give a scenario. Let's look at, let's say for the banking industry, let's take a look at the app. Yes, the app. Let's say, for example, the GTB app, right? So we can imagine if a customer wants to access the app and they could not access the app, they want to either want to do some transaction and they could not. I know many of us would have experienced this before, having to trying to access a particular bank app, but we could not access it. So the next option is for us to look out for another optional bank, right? And I believe that every one of us here should have more than one bank. So now I want to make a transaction, maybe with my GTB app, and I cannot make that transaction. Then the next thing that comes to my mind is, what other options do I have? Then I have to go to, maybe I have another bank app, which is FS Bank, and have some money there. I will have to go and make transaction on that with that app, right? So the charges that the GTB would have gotten if I had used their app to make that transaction, right? They've lost it because of the issue of downtime, right? So, and the charges and that's the revenue they would have generated, right, has been transferred to another bank because of what issue of network. So no bank wants to hear this. No bank executive wants to hear this. So if you are tailoring your pitch to this direction, letting them know that if this kind of thing happen, that is just me alone, right? Let's assume the number of people that are trying to access the bank app are over, say, 300,000. Let's just peg it at 300,000. And for each transaction, the charges is 50 naira. Can you multiply 50 naira by 300,000? So you can see within the space of time what an institution will lose. So once you can give this kind of analysis to the decision maker, right, they will understand where the point at where you're coming from, right? And you also want to look at the transaction speed. So these are more like daily life experience, right? We tend to open some app, and it takes longer than ever to get this app open. Because of that, some of us, we have to move some of our account to another bank just to ensure that we don't have this kind of latency when we try to perform any kind of transaction. So looking at that, anybody who want to dive into the solution. So with the help of this solution, the OpManager Plus, it tends to make things smoother, right? It gives you real-time alert on what is about to happen in your environment. It gives you alert on the network that is about to go down. So making the customer to be proactive instead of being reactive. So, and at the end of the day, it also save costs, because if anything should happen within the customer's app or within their premises as regards their network, it's going to affect their financial revenue for that day or for that period. So those are the things that we look at when we are pitching the ManageEngine solution. And the OpManager Plus, like I mentioned, is a network monitoring solution, but it encompasses the NetFlow analyzer that speaks to bandwidth monitoring, the IP address monitoring, application monitoring, network configuration monitoring, and firewall analyzer. So that is why it's called OpManager Plus. So it's more like a 5 or 6-in-1 solution. So if you have this solution in-house, it has, in a layman language, they say Google Leshe. It can do more than what you expect from the solution. So you can imagine which angle, milliseconds equal to 1 million. You can imagine. So any downtime that lasts for a milliseconds is equivalent to a revenue loss of about 1 million. So pitch tailor your pitch to this angle. Network latency is very important. How soon? How does it take? How long does it take for you to open an app? Sometimes you open an app, it kept rolling. If you just feel frustrated and try to use another app. So those are the things that happens within an organization when a particular tool or a particular network that is at the back end is having issue. Application downtime. No, we said that OpManager Plus has a plugin of Application Manager, right, which does the monitoring of all the application within the customer's premises. So it's important that you should also know that the OpManager Plus also speaks to Application Manager. So nobody wants their net application to run down, right? If application should be up and running, and there's going to be any issue at all, there should be a prior alert from the solution, they said the OpManager, to sensitize the admin and whoever that this and this is about to happen, and they should be able to trace where the issues are coming from. So OpManager Plus gives you real-time monitoring and advanced alerting for your core banking system, ATM network, trading platform. So that's why if we want to rate the percentage of the institution that are using the solution, I think the financial institution are very much the one that requests for this kind of solution. So if you have this, banking financial institution in the list of your pipeline, then I advise that you start engaging them on OpManager Plus. So another thing that you can look at too is the performance is a feature. The performance, every customer expects lightning and fast of app. So you want the speed of the app of the response from the app, like the speed of light, right? You want to access the app. We want it to be up and running, right? So we have this kind of experience daily, right? Where you want to access app, it becomes an issue. So that is what you should be looking at when you pitch your solution. The website, how accessible the website, how accessible is the website of the customer, right? Is it something that it takes the whole day? You can imagine trying to open a site and the latency is very high. It takes up longer than expected. So you just have to, at the point you just get frustrated, right? So this is not just to the app alone. You can also relate it to their trading platform, right? Trading platform and other things that relates to the bank, because OpManager Plus solution is actually going to be plugged into their network system. Right, so OpManager Plus provide deep application performance monitoring to spot bottleneck in the transaction pipeline, whether it is the database, application servers, or network, ensuring seamless customers experience. Right, so that alone is what every customer is looking out for. Right, another angle you can tailor your pitch to is the compliance. We said this several times that the banking industry, the financial institution are very much key to their compliance, and compliance has to do with many things that relates to your servers, your data, and then your application within the environment too. And OpManager Plus has the updates the right compliance for each of these tools, each of the tools for the customer's environment. So now in the oil and gas sector, right, you can also tailor your pitch to the uptime, right? Uptime, right? Real-time monitoring of whatever downtime that is about to happen within the oil and gas sectors, right? So, and believe that they definitely they have definitely an oil and gas company is definitely a big company. So you are very much aware that they're going to have their network, right? They are going to have a network system within their environment that need to be checked, that need to be monitored. So if you are discussing things that relates to the OpManager Plus to the oil and gas sector, then you need to ask the number of network devices that they have, application they have within their environment, right? Some of this application is linked to probably to their read monitoring or pipeline monitoring. So if this application tends to go down, then they cannot have visibility of what is happening within the pipeline and also within the read monitoring. So you can tailor your pitch towards that direction, because whether you like it or not, they're going to have a certain app that they use to run their daily activities. And if that is, if they have such kind of app, then they need to have a plugin of OpManager Plus to bridge the gap to ensure that whatever downtime that is about to happen, real-time alert will be sent to the admin or whoever that is sitting on the solution to ensure that a proactive measure is made to prevent whatever the downtime. Also, you're going to look at proactive fault management for remote sites, right? You should also look at like I mentioned, this is something about switch. There are some switch that is connected to the pipeline, right? If a switch is failing, right? If a switch is failing, how do they know if the switch is going to fail, right? So those switch, if is linked to the OpManager Plus solution, they'll be able to get a real-time alert that something is about to happen. This is one of those things that happen within, for those of us that have automobile, right? Once once anything wants to happen with your car, right? If you check the dashboard, you're going to get a real-time. That is those that have the modern kind of car. You're going to have a real-time feedback that something is about to happen. So if you are very much in the know of what that signature or what that sign is, right? You then have to park and try to check that something is about to happen. And this is because the certain sensors have been connected to some of these devices, some of the device in the in the in the in the car, right? So the engine of the car has some of these sensors. So these sensors tends to send signal to the dashboard of the car, letting you know that something is about to happen or something is actually happening. But at least you are getting a forehand information on what is about to happen. So the same scenario plays in this the oil and gas sector. Once there's a certain switch is about to go off, because it's connected to the OpManager Plus, it tends to give a real-time alert on something that's about to happen, so that whoever is managing that platform will be able to take a proactive measure to ensure that that is actually cut off. And also, OpManager Plus real-time monitoring and customizable alert. So you can customize the alert, right? How you want the alert to come in, right? You can set a threshold, right, on this alert. You can set a threshold of 70%, 80%, right? Even for normal daily activities that relates to maybe your CPU and the rest, you can set a threshold that once the storage capacity of your server or your endpoint is about 80%, please send an alert. Because once your endpoint gets to about the memory gets to about 90%, you start having issue with the server. So with the help of this solution, you can set a threshold on when you want to start getting an alert, so that it can give you a leverage and also time for you to be able to take that proactive action measure to stop the downtime. Bandwidth and traffic analysis. I made mention earlier that the OpManager Plus does not just monitor the network, it does bandwidth and traffic monitoring, right? So you can actually ascertain the number of you ascertain the bandwidth that has been issued to you and the bandwidth that you've consumed you consume within a certain period of time, right? With the solution, you can ascertain that. For example, a company subscribed for 250 MB, and that's what you subscribe for. Well, with the help of OpManager Plus, the NetFlow analyzer, you should be able to track, know if exactly is that 250 MB period being that you pay for. That is what you have been given. So if you notice that what you subscribe for is less than what they're giving you, then you can make a complaint to the internet subscriber or the telecommunication company that you're using. With that, you are trying to manage costs to ensure that the cost, the price that you budgeted for a particular services, you ensure that you get it fully. And also, you can also ascertain the highest bandwidth users within the organization. For example, the person that is using the highest bandwidth, what he or she is using. If it's not relating to the business of the day, then you can take a measure to ensure that it does not have access to such sites again. So it's important that you also let the client know that the OpManager Plus does not just speak to network monitoring. It does bandwidth and traffic analysis. I want to ensure that the money I paid for, that is what I paid for, that is what I'm getting, right? It should not be less. If it's lesser, then I can reach out to my subscriber or the telecommunication company to demand for a refund, right? So it's very important that you let the client know that this is possible with the help of OpManager Plus. In the government power starters, right? So yes, it's also similar. It's also similar, but you should let them know that the citizen service uptime is what they're looking at for, right? How soon, how possible, how easier for you to access the FIS portal when you want to apply for your passport. how difficult or how easy it is for you to access the NIM portal when you want to do one thing or the other, or you want to make payment for certain things that relates to tax and the rest. How easier it is for you to access this? What is the latency of what latency does it take for you to access the website, right? How long does it take for you to access some of their websites? It is important that you know this. It's not just the government parastatal I just mentioned. There are many other that they are under the government parastatal. We have the NCC, right? You want to do some transaction with the NCC portal. How easy is it? How easy is it for you? How are you able to access their portal? How easy it is for you to access the portal? So it's very important for you to tailor your pitch to this direction, letting them know that sometimes when people cannot access the federal government website due to some of the issues that relates to network downtime, maybe one switch or one portal, one switch is actually down, and they could not, people could not access the website, and with that, it's going to affect the business of the day, especially those that relates to finance. It's going to affect the revenue that will come into the organization that day. So you're going to tailor your pitch towards delivering essential services to citizens 24 hours. Your network power, everything from the public safety database to online tax portal. Reliability and security are not negotiable. So you should ensure that when you are when you are pitching to them, you should let them know that this solution helps you to get uptime in terms of your website, in terms of your services. Should anyone want to access your services, they get access immediately. So if there is going to be an issue at all, they're going to get more like a prompt alert, letting them know that something is about to happen, and they take a proactive measure. So, and also, like we mentioned, ensuring continuity of the citizen services, right? This is for everyone. They want to ensure that business continuity is there. So if there is no business continuity, then there's no point doing any business when just because of one downtime, people could not access the platform or the portal of the client or the government parastatals. It becomes an issue. So these are the things that we'll discuss when we are talking to the government parastatals. We also speak towards the net flow aspect, which is the bandwidth monitoring. Bandwidth monitoring, the number of bandwidth that they are consuming per day, per month. This solution should be able to let them know that okay, you will subscribe for 250 MB. Probably it's a dedicated network, right? Maybe you subscribe for a dedicated line and it's 250 MB, right? And you find out that you are getting lesser than that. With this solution, you shall be able to get that, what you are getting and what you are using. That is the traffic. You can generate the traffic within your organization and also from the vendor. You can generate the traffic. So if it's not equal to what you subscribe to, you can lay a complaint and get a refund. So it's also with this, it helps to save costs and ensure business continuity. So strengthening security posture, right? So like I mentioned again, I said something relating to firewall analyzing, right? And the OpManager Plus does not just do the network monitoring alone. It has a feature that does the firewall and log management. So when you're pitching this solution to them, it's also made them understand that it does more like it's strengthening the security framework of the organization, right? Because of the feature of the feature that relates to firewall analyzer, right? So firewall analyzer, the firewall analyzer can be a standalone, right? But it's a bundle solution in OpManager Plus. So with this, with the client getting OpManager Plus, it helps them to strengthen their security framework because they have a firewall and log management tool, which tend to track any kind of threat within the environment and also configuration changes, right? Also remember that there is another module in OpManager Plus, which is the network configuration manager. So that also helps you determine if any changes have been made in the configuration within the customer's premises. So if there is a change, if someone make changes in the configuration within the customer's premises, right, it sends an alert, right? It also helps you to back up all the configurations. So, for example, if there's an issue with the environment that leads to maybe data loss, because you have the OpManager Plus, which is the feature that relates to the Network Configuration Manager Plus, it helps you to back up all the configuration that have been done. So if you want to reconfigure, it's easier for you to go back and to the configuration that you have made within the organization, and also what changes that have been made. Whoever that made that changes, you get a real-time alert on that. So OpManager does this, and OpManager Plus support a wide range of devices, helping you maximize the value of existing investment while effectively managing their performance and health. So for the manufacturing industry, right, also you have to tailor your pitch towards performance, network performance, right, supply chain, and production line, because when it talks about the manufacturing industry, it has to we are actually speaking to production and supply chain, right? So if there is an issue with the production line, then the finished product becomes as we definitely have an issue, right? So in order for us to have a very good and expected finished product, then it's important for us to ensure that our network supply within the machine or whatever machine that is we are using, or the sensors that are within the machines are up and running. And if there's an issue that relates to these machines, whatever, because this machine are actually computerized, right? If there's an issue relating to the machine that is being used for production, then it can affect the finished product. And if the finished product is affected, it's going to affect the revenue that is expected to be generated in that given period of time, right? Also, you can imagine if the supply chain is actually broken, it's going to affect also the products, the supply of the product to their vendors or to their expected both the manufacturer or the wholesale or the resellers that they have within their supply chain. So it's important that when you are pitching ManageEngine solution to them, you tend to tailor your pitch towards their production line, their supply chain, their IP network performance, and also uptime. So OpManager Plus helps to ensure that while you're working, while you're making production, right? If there are going to be issues with the sensors or the ERP system you have within the environment, there will be an alert that will be sent to the admin to prompt them that something is about to happen. Please take actions before it disrupts the business of the day. So that's what the OpManager Plus does. And you can also affirm with me that most of the manufacturing industry right now are now having a smart factory. Smart factory in the sense that everything within their production line are automated. So meaning that from the starting of from the raw material to the finished product, the process is actually automated. So meaning that they will need an automated to also checkmate issues within the line of production, so that if there is an issue, they take a proactive measure to resolve it. Application performance. We all know that most of the manufacturing industry have core application that they use, right? So, and the application manager does what? Managing of the application, ensuring that there is real time and uptime, ensuring an uptime of the application, and also ensuring that they get real time alert on issues that relates to the application within the organization. So if an OpManager solution, if an application manager solution is plugged into the ERP solution they have in-house, the software they have in-house. It gives them visibility on what is happening within the applications. Should customer, before the customer start having issues accessing the application, the admin within the organization would have gotten such kind of alert, letting them know that something is about to happen. Please make a proactive action to ensure that this does not happen. So that's also what you tailor your pitch to. You tailor your pitch also to capacity planning for growth, right? So like I mentioned, the ManageEngine solution is scalable, right? It's very scalable, right? The OpManager Plus is scalable. You can get a license for a certain number today, and as the capacity of the company grows, you can scale, you can actually upgrade, you can also increase the number of IP, increase the number of that network devices. You can also increase the number of admin that you tend to, you probably due to the expansion of business and the client wants to make decision of such. So you don't need to start waiting, you don't need to wait till the expiration of the license. Within the anniversary year, you can make such kind of scalable action, and the action will be made and be included in the existing license. So you should let them know that having to upgrade does not really requires any protocol at all. It is a seamless process. So and just to give a quick recap on this, right? So we mentioned things relating to the advantage of using the ManageEngine solution. So this also speaks to OpManager Plus. OpManager Plus has a very good advantage, right? The fact that you can integrate it with other ManageEngine solution is also a key advantage that we have. We have edge over other OEM because we can integrate our solutions at ease. So seamless integration is one of the things that you look at for when you are pitching your solution. You can imagine a client that have, let's assume that they do not have a Service Desk Plus as their ITSM solution. Let's assume that the client have Jira as their ITSM solution. So this OpManager Plus has a seamless integration with some of these third-party solutions, right? Now, imagine if you have OpManager Plus service desk within the organization. The integration between Service Desk Plus and OpManager Plus is very, very much seamless. So that's why we encourage our partner to sell ManageEngine solution, because one, the ease of integration is seamless, and it gives you opportunity to sell more. For example, if I have a customer or a client that is using OpManager Plus, right? And I mentioned OpManager Plus, if there are going to be issues within the network applications, within the configuration, you get a real-time alert. So what if you've got a real-time alert and nobody attend to it? It becomes an issue. So why not tailor your pitch towards, okay, you have OpManager Plus. Why can't you get a Service Desk Plus? So this OpManager Plus. Once there's an alert relating to network downtime and is not being treated, immediately that alert comes in, because it's plugged into the Service Desk Plus, it becomes an incident. That incident will create a ticket. The ticket will be assigned to the admin that is supposed to treat that network issues. And if it's not treated, it will be escalated to the admin or the super admin that is manning the solution. So with that, it put the technical team or the technology team up to their tools to ensure that things relating to network downtime, things relating to server downtime, application downtime are taken as a thing of priority, right? You can even assign SLA to this kind of issues within the organization. So that's why we encourage that you sell the ManageEngine solution, because of the ability for you to seamlessly integrate other solutions, right? OpManager Plus can integrate with Service Desk Plus, can integrate with other tools within the ManageEngine framework of tools, right? So the automated workflow is also an advantage, right? When you're pitching to your client, you let them know that we have automated workflow that you can customize for yourself how you want it to appear. And also there's also a dashboard, a customizable dashboard, right? Customizable dashboard that will be telling you where and where the issues that relates to network, what is happening within the network. It will be based on the dashboard that you can actually um, ascertain where the issues relating to the network is, right? You can get a root term analysis that relates to whatever challenges that you have within the network framework. So that's what you should tailor your pitch to, the advantage. And also the fact that you can get 5-in-1 solution in just one OpManager Plus is also an advantage, right? So you can imagine you have network configuration, you have network monitoring solution, you have firewall analyzer, you have NetFlow analyzer. You have NetFlow analyzer, you have the network monitoring solution that is stored the network monitoring solution itself. You have IP address monitoring, and you have network configuration manager. So you can imagine 5-in-1 solution is more like an advantage for whoever that is going to subscribe to the solution. So because this solution that I just mentioned, you can get it as a standalone. So you can imagine if you are buying you're buying network configuration manager separately, firewall analyzer separately, because I know that there are other OEM that sell this solution separately. But with the ManageEngine OpManager Plus, it comes as a bundle. And once you get it, you've gotten 5 solutions, right? So it's also another added advantage that when you are pitching to your client, you should let them know that the licensing cost, the model of operation, the model to which the solution comes is also something that they should look out to, right? Because it reduces the cost of purchase, the cost of spending on license that relates to network monitoring. So meaning that once you get a solution that does network monitoring, it covers everything relating to network, even down to application monitoring. Not all solution does that. So our next session will be treating questions that you ask your client if you want to diagnose if they actually need the OpManager Plus solution within the organization. So there are some questions we're going to ask. Right, these questions can also help you. It can also assist you in pitching the solution. In as much as you have the understanding of what the solution is, what the functionality of the solution can, what it can actually offer. But with the help of these questions, you can actually diagnose which of the modules that is needed within the OpManager framework. Right? A client can as well request that they want to get OpManager Plus, right? But at the end of the day, they might not need some of the modules within the OpManager Plus framework. Like maybe the clients do not actually need network NetFlow analyzer. So meaning that when you're going to quote to the client, you might not need to concentrate much on that modules that they do not really need. So in order for us to have more insight on this, I'll be handing over my mic to my colleague, AY. AY will be the one handling this session. So if you have a question, kindly drop a chat and we'll be giving you opportunity to ask questions at the end of the presentation. Right. AY, please have the mic.
And I am audible from everyone's end. If moving forward, just like it is on the slide, questions you should ask your client. So the first one is you will need to ask the client to walk you through what do they have. Walk me through your current IT infrastructure, network devices, servers, applications, and cloud resources. So just like Mr. Henry said earlier, you might not need to focus on a particular aspect, and you might need to focus or you might need to prioritize another module rather than the net flow. Some clients might need the op manager, might not need the net flow. Some might need the net flow, they don't need the op manager, but they need the firewall analyzer. So these are the questions you might need to ask them. So for example, now you might tell the client, can you walk me through? And they will tell you, okay, I have 7 servers. I also have 16 laptops. I want to know if my servers is going down. I want to see what is happening in the servers. So when I mean what is happening is the parameters. I want to see if the RAM has been exhausted. I want to see if the ROM have been exhausted, internal parameters. I also have access points. Okay, and the access points, sometimes people might be too much on it. I have like 6 access points in 2 departments. So I want to know, is it that we're having, sometimes the network is slow, and I want to know if how many people are on that access point. Now, with all these 2 scenarios, you would know that they would need OpManager Plus. So you don't need to sell individual solutions to them, such as the OpManager and NetFlow. We just recommend pushing the OpManager Plus. The OpManager will take care of the server side to know if the server is up, to know if the server is down. It will also take care of the access point to know how many users are currently sitting on a particular access point, so they can know if they should get more access points for that department or they should still work with what they have. And you also pitch the net flow in terms of the bandwidth. Since they've mentioned access points, they would also like to know how many traffics, like what are the volumes of traffic, not how many rather, what are the volumes of traffic passing through that net flow. Is it that this access point is not even passing bandwidth, and the other one is passing much bandwidth? The op manager alone cannot do that, but you will need the net flow model to fix that or to get that phase completed. That is why most times I do recommend the clients going for the op manager. They might also see that for my network devices, I want to be backing up my network device. I want to back up what the configurations on it. For that aspect, you push in the NCM, or you can tell them the op manager plus again, since it encompasses of the op manager, netflow analyzer, NCM, which is network configuration manager. It also encompasses of IPAM, IP address management. How many IPs are available? So if you ask me what is an IP is like an address. Just like you are going to your house, you give them your address to your house. That is how it works on the network level. For this laptop now, it can be 192. Your own laptop can be 193. Another laptop can be 194. Like that. So that is how the IP address work. So OpManager also consists of IPAM. Sometimes the clients want to monitor how many IP address is given out. Have you encountered some issue with your mobile devices, like you're on hotspot, and you see that the device is not able to connect with the hotspot? On the surface, that is what is happening. But at the back end, the device is not collecting an address that, okay, this is my address, come and connect to me. It's not able to find the address of the other device. That is how it works also on the network level. I just gave an analogy. So you can also ask for IPAM. We also have application manager, just as Mr. Henry has said earlier. If they don't have in-house application, they want to monitor their mailbox exchange. So you have this client fill out all of this for you, all of these items for you, have them table it out and ask more questions. You can also ask down to the hardware levels, such as the IoT devices. You can ask them like printers. Do you experience any issues with your printers? Most time they will say yes, so they don't even know if the toner is down. It is when the toner is down, that is when they will know they want to change the toner. And at that period of time, they might be printing some critical documents. They just find out that the toner is down. The op manager can help you monitor that kind of scenario. Before the toner would reach a 20% decrease, the op manager will send an alert, just like it has mentioned, like Mr. has mentioned earlier, configuring thresholds. So with that, you can pitch that aspect to the clients down to the hardware level. They might also ask you, can you monitor camera? Yes, it can monitor the availability of camera. However, it cannot see what the camera is seeing. It's a network monitoring tool, but it can monitor the availability if the camera is up, or if the camera is having high temperature, or if the camera is passing bandwidth, those kinds of scenarios. So the next item, how many devices or endpoints are you currently managing across your network? How many? In most time it is dynamic. They don't have a straightforward answer. They can just give you a range, 100, 200. And the way OpManager Plus works is, it is licensed per number of devices on the OpManager side. For the bandwidth side, it's licensed the number of interface. That is for bandwidth monitor, which is the net flow. So interfaces are like, if you check your laptop, which I'm currently using, see all those USB ports, all those charger ports, those are interface. If you are currently watching this webinar from your mobile devices, that your charging points, that is what they call interface. So net flow monitors by number of interface. You know, on this network device, they have a lot of interface that they'll plug many cables to it, so they can monitor, so they can have internet access. So how many interface do you want to monitor? That is how it is licensed on the NetFlow side. It also licensed for the file analyzer. However, the OpManager Plus comes with 2 firewall as a default, or 1 firewall as a default rather. So if the client has more than one, they might need to purchase additional firewall. So that part is managed on number of firewalls. That is the firewall analyzer, numbers of firewalls. It also licensed for numbers of network devices if the client is paying for the NCM. So just depending on the kind of architecture they have, you can now have all of these items listed. Then you can explain to them. Of course, if you have, if you need any more hands on deck, you can always reach out to the Transact team. They are always available. If it's going to be on a WhatsApp call, if it's going to be on a web meeting, Zoom, Teams, Skype, Google, we're always there to explain more, build further, and break it down so the client can understand. And I'll tell you this, one of the key selling points is with the way the ManageEngine license their product is very, very unique. For example, now SolarWinds, you pay for interface and you pay for the device. It's managed by number of nodes. So the device is one amount of money, the interface is one amount of money. But for the ManageEngine OpManager Plus, even if the device has 1,000 interface, you're not paying for it. You're only paying for that device. So now that has already slashed a lot of budgets for the client so they can afford the product. So the item 3, do you operate a multi-site or a single-site network environment? It might be yes, it might be no. If they say yes, you push to them again that the OpManager Plus works fine. With the OpManager, you can monitor different branches in one single location. So that can be the headquarters, or that can be a target branch. It can be the target operation center. With these products, you can monitor all those kinds of branches across the globe, even though it is in the US and the headquarters is in Nigeria, or it is the reverse, the headquarters is in the US and the branch is in Nigeria. They can monitor all of these devices. I'll give you a real-time experience which I encountered in the banking sector, which we deployed the product. Apologies. So we've deployed this product in the headquarters and some branches outside of Nigeria and some locally around. Well, however, some of those branches has not been onboarded fully. Then a time come when the network went down at that particular branch and they escalated. To the engineer's surprise, they've not onboarded it. They were able to tell that this branch has gone down. Because when it went down, that is when they knew that, okay, for this particular branch, there's no network, they are not receiving anything. But by that time, it's already too late. They've called the network head of network department, they've called the head of server department, they've called the head of application department. And for banks, they don't want to know what happened. They want to know who is responsible for this. That is the bank, so the management in banks. They don't want to know, okay, this is what happened, it went down. They just want to know who is responsible. And that is why all these heads, they like to quickly monitor these places before it will escalate to that point. Now, with this, they were able to onboard that particular branch and monitor it very, very thoroughly. So you will ask them, do you have, is this an enterprise environment? Do you have branches across the globe? With the Up Manager, you can monitor those branches, or is it just a single location? You can also do install the Up Manager in your environment, Up Manager Plus environment, and monitor all of these preferences. So the item 4, are your applications deployed on-premise, cloud, or hybrid? You have to ask that question too, because the Up Manager supports all platforms out there. You can monitor the cloud environment for the services that are running on that cloud environment, for AWS, for Azure environment. You can monitor those services and the applications running on it. Since they should say that, yes, they have this on cloud. So this is where you have to pitch for that. Not only can we monitor the applications on that cloud, we can also monitor the cloud environment for their services that would make it up and running. And if it is an on-premise, we can monitor the application itself and the server at which the application is sitting. We can also do more. We can also monitor the database that is working with the application. You can monitor the database for that aspect. So these are the questions you should ask the client. It gives you more opportunity to do a cross-selling, to pitch other modules. So the client can go for the bundle. The more they go for other modules, the more you have more revenue at your disposal. So you can also ask more questions. What tools are you currently using for network server or application monitoring? And this is where you can win them over. In the Nigerian market, it's all about cost. They will tell you, you tell them it can do this, it can bring everything, it can bring it. At the end of the day, it is how much is it? When they see that it is very high, they'll now start saying, hey, okay, I'll call you back. I'll keep you updated. You can call me, you can send me a text. They'll start posting it. But so what tools are you currently using for network server or application monitoring? They might tell you, I make use of SolarWinds. They might tell you, I make use of PLRZ, which is a network simulator. So they might also tell you all of these applications out there. Some might even tell you they don't make use of anything. So this, if that's the case, you can pitch in for the Up Manager. That is a major win. However, should in case you have other applications being running, so this is where you have to come in as your own competitive, give them your competitive analysis. First is the cost. Like I said earlier, it is very affordable. And the second one is you can tell them, you give them a comparison sheet. The ManageEngine has a lot of comparison sheets and they are updating more. There are some solutions me myself I have not heard. If once a client said, okay, I'm making use of this, immediately what I do is reach out to the developers. We need to create a comparison sheet with this product. And I send them in, they get back to me, they tell me I should give them a couple of days. I'll also tell the clients, please give me a couple of days also so that we can have this. So you can see a comparison that you can compare which ones and the ones that is more better for you. And during that time, you can also tell the clients, you can continue making use of your tool. However, we would also like to give a free access or a free trial to our own tool, also to the ManageEngine tool, where you can install for free for a free 30 days trial. And this will give you a real-time comparison. You can see which ones work for you the best. So what are the major challenges you are experiencing with your current monitoring solutions? So let us give an example of the SolarWinds. SolarWinds is based on number of nodes. If you have a laptop, that is one node. If a laptop has two interfaces, that is two nodes. So together, that is three. So like that is number of nodes. But the Up Manager is very different. One devices, the interface, you don't have to pay for that. The Up Manager is taking care of that for you. The only way you can monitor is if If you now want to monitor the bandwidth on the interface, then you pay for that. So you can monitor the bandwidth on that interface. On the application level, is number of monitors. Number of monitors, meaning if you have one application, if you have one database, if you have one IS server, it's just number of monitors that you can get for that aspect. And most of the time, the challenges I do see with these clients is cost. It is support, readiness of support. We provide support most business working hours at the Tranta IT team. If your team also has if you also have a support team or implementation team, that is very good. You can tell the client you also provide support at business hours and off business hours. I can't count the number of times I have worked with clients at weekends, Sundays to do an upgrade, to push a patch, to segregate, to identify some devices in their environment. Especially banks, they don't do anything. They don't push anything critical at the business hours. They would wait after business hours or during the midnight. And Tranta IT team, I'll speak for the company itself. We have come in and support clients in scenarios like this. Are you facing frequent downtime, slow issues detection, or delay alerts? So you can ask them questions like this. The off manager, as it's happening, it is sending you an alert. The minimum time of 30 seconds. Now, the way it works is this. You can create dashboards. Dashboards can now be used for live environments. So these dashboards can be put on the live screen. And the minimum time frame to check for the current status of that device is 30 seconds. So for every 30 seconds, Off Manager will go and check the current status. Are you up and running? Is your bandwidth slow? Is your bandwidth high? Is it increasing? Have you consumed so much bandwidth? Have you taken more? As your device is taking a backup of the network device? Is somebody entering your network device? Is it an unauthorized access or unauthorized? Is your database query up and running? Is your application's transaction also fast? So Off Manager checks for all of this at the minimum of 30 seconds on the dashboard live screen. For the other item, do you experience difficulty in obtaining real-time visibility across your entire IT environment? So I spoke on this earlier. With they might say yes, they might say no. Even if they said yes, you just have to do for that. With the Off Manager, you can get visibility across all globes or all locations, geographic locations around the world in one centralized dashboard. And you can also create a dedicated dashboard in such a way that what Mr. Ayo is seeing is different from what Mr. Henry is seeing. So I have this pointed out to different engineers in the team. So nothing concerns the database engineer with the network engineer. So they are more focused around their work descriptions or their specialty in the environment. This is one of the ways we can ask these questions. We can reach further, and also do some cross selling. So how quickly do you currently detect and respond to network or server issues? So like I mentioned that earlier, as it's happening, you're receiving alerts. We support all kinds of notification process. The Off Manager Plus, you can tell them with the Off Manager product, you can integrate with Teams. So if your employees are more familiar with Teams, with Off Manager, you can easily integrate with Teams. You can also get notifications on your SMS and mailbox. Same applies for government. For starters, they will prefer SMS. They want to be seeing SMS. Yes, Off Manager Plus can send you an alert immediately on SMS. For banks, they make use of third-party applications like Jira, and there are other ones there. Off Manager can integrate with third-party applications and send you an alert proactively. You can also integrate with Skype and other applications, Telegram, WhatsApp, so they can receive as it's happening like this, they are seeing the notification. So with that, there's no room for excuse that they didn't see it. It has sent you a notification on your mailbox, it has sent you on the personal, the third-party applications. So do your team receive automated alerts, or is most issue detection done manually? So this falls around the first items too. So this is where you have to push in. Once you've asked this question, based on their answer, you can also give them a response. Do you currently undo incident escalation internally? You can ask these questions. Also, is it internally or is it a third party? A client might tell you, yes, we do it internally, but it's not very optimized. Sometimes we're not able to cover all. This is where you can also come into that. If they're not able to achieve all of this 100%, you also offer support in managing incidents like this. The counter team does that, where they can manage the network environment. Of course, they have to pay for it since they want external support to come in and check for manage these currently activities or escalations like this. And they can also integrate with their ITSM, a ticketing solution where it's going to gives us incidents as it's happening. So if the server should goes down, the ticket to be assigned to a particular engineer. And on the ticket end, there's a time frame for the engineer to quickly resolve that. And that's going to prevent a very high escalation. So most likely it's going to start de-escalating the incident for them. So it does not get to the point that they're experiencing any downtime. Are you able to track MTTR, mean time to resolve, accurately? Yes, the OpManager, you can ask them these questions. So they can say yes and they can say no. If they say yes, you can ask them how. And if they say no, you can pitch the OpManager where it offers the workflow features. So apart from those monitoring and alerting, you should also take some specific steps. The OpManager also has that functionalities to do that for the clients. So moving on, we also have questions. Which KPIs are the most important for you to monitor bandwidth, CPU, memory disk, traffic flows, logs? Every company has their own different KPIs. Some are to ensure that they are able to monitor their resources. Some might be able to ensure that their server does not freeze. Some can even be to ensure that their laptops and their user does not come and say my laptop is hanging. So, but some users rather they are carefree. They can open a lot of tabs on their laptop. They can open WhatsApp, open Chrome, open Skype, open VLC, open everything, and one time they will see their laptop is hanging. But you are killing your laptop now. You have what you are opening. So you can also, so these are one of the aspects where you can monitor the OpManager. The OpManager can monitor the laptops. Rather, before a user will now come and say the laptop has hanged, it's going to send an alert where to that particular mailbox that for this particular user with the name, the OpManager has this custom field where you can put, okay, this laptop is for Mr. Ayo. Once an alert is generated on that laptop, you can really see that it is for Mr. Ayo. So the KPIs can come in number of users that you have resolved, number of resolved incidents for users, number of resolved incidents for infrastructure level like servers, number of bandwidth monitoring. So a lot of KPIs are out there. So with this OpManager, it can give them more insight to be able to achieve this KPI to 100%. Do you require deep traffic analytics using NetFlow or similar technology? So if you answer me a question like this, then I'll ask you to, okay, what do you mean by that? Can you explain more? So I'll just give an example. You can say, can I break it down? Do you require deep traffic in such a way to know if a particular application is the one consuming most of the bandwidth, or if it's a user that is consuming most of the bandwidth, or a server? If you go to back in the days, if you go to cafe, you just be browsing, and you just find out that suddenly it is slow. Then you start complaining, your network is slow. And the owner will be like, no, it's not slow. The owner will now start checking everybody's screen. to see who is downloading. And once the owner has seen, I tell you, guy, cannot download. People are doing so many things, you cannot download. So that is an example of deep traffic analytics. The Op Manager, it can pinpoint at that particular time frame. It's also going to give time who is consuming much bandwidth in the environment, who is consuming much bandwidth. Is it a user? Is it an application? Or let me just say, who has hijacked that bandwidth for that moment of time? So it is not left for the network engineer to now go in and regulate or stop that process. So that is one of the questions you should ask the client, and you can also break it down for them. Do you have critical applications that require real-time monitoring and whatnot? So you can ask these questions too. For the banking sector, it's always a yes. They have their mobile devices. They have, for example, is this DTB app we're using, these UBA applications, UBA mobile banking applications we're using. We want to monitor the applications. So for banks, apart from just monitoring those mobile banking applications, we would also like to monitor some services. So let me give an example now. To the public view, they are logging into their UBA mobile bank, their GTB mobile bank to transfer money. But once they log in and they see that it's taking them time to even just take them to the dashboard to show them their value, what most users will do is they will exit the application and try again. It will take more time again, they will exit the application and try again. But at the back end, something is taking place. It can be that the database is not executing the query. It can also be that the codes are not being executed, or it can be the server itself. The server has reached a particular peak where the RAM is frozen or the memory is getting full. And that is affecting the application on the front end for the users to use. So they like to monitor what is happening behind. So like I said earlier, for banks, they like to know who is responsible for that. Same applies for oil and gas, where they have their own mobile apps for internal usage. They will also like to monitor these applications. And in most instances, they would like to monitor some services that the application is using. So a service can be sitting on a server and the application can be sitting in a cloud. For the application of cloud will work fine, it needs to call the one that is on-premise that, okay, please, I need to start passing transactions. You need to start working. And in that period of time, it might take a lot of time. Like traffic or the latency can be so high that the application will not work or it will not come in or start in time. Whereas the engineer now needs to go in and check for the logs or see why this service is not up and running. It's not the application's fault, it's the service fault. So most scenarios like this, they would like to monitor critical applications. So you would ask them, do you have any critical applications you want to monitor? Do you have any critical services that you want to monitor? And most times, yes, it's a yes for most cases. Even though it's not a ban, even if it is, there are some services that are currently on every server, even on your laptop like this. On your laptop like this, I'll tell you, just click on your Windows keyboard and type services and click on the enter. It will list out a lot of services that your laptop is using. And that is how it is. You might even find out that for example, now you might find out that your Teams is not coming up. You are clicking on it, it's not coming up. It's not the application is not coming up, but the services the application is using is not coming up. And most times you just have to start your laptop for everything to now start working fine. Like they say, restarting the device fix at least 50% of every issue. For banks, they don't have time to restart anything. They don't. They cannot even restart anything. So this is where you have to pitch in that the OpManager Plus can give you real-time visibility and also generate reports. Reports give you more visual visibilities for reporting, especially for government areas. They're likely to see, okay, let us see what this thing has done. They're more interested in seeing it, so they would like to see a report. I can say, okay, Oga, for this month, this is what we have done, this is what has been achieved, this is what is displayed, and like that, they can now push further. Okay, uh, we need more approval, and just like that. These are the number of users currently sitting on our environment, on our security firewall. So they like reports like that. They like to see, okay, what this particular user is doing. They like, in most time in government cases, they like to see reports. Same applies for other sectors like schools, like banking, like oil and gas. They like to see a lot of reports like this. So what compliance frameworks do you follow? PCI DSS. The PCI DSS is the payment. You have the NDPR, you have the ITIL, you have the ITIL, we have GDPR, we have NDPR, we have SOX, we have a lot of compliance. And for the up manager, they like to know that, okay, is your devices following compliance? Now, apart from that, the up manager, one of the key features the up manager gives is that it will check if their configuration is in compliance with the vendor. No, I know for some banks, I know some from environment and for Tranta itself, we make use of many popular vendors out there like Cisco, Sophos, Fortinet. Now, your manager can help in such a way that whatever they configure, is it in compliance with the vendor itself, like Cisco? It will show them that, oh, okay, Oga, so for this on the UI, that what you have configured is not best practice Cisco in-house. It will now tell them the remediation. Apart from just alerting them, to tell them what they need to do so they can be in compliance with the vendor itself and the standard regulatory. Do you require automated reporting management for auditors? Of course, you can ask them questions like this. Most time they will say yes. And then you can do further with the op manager, you can configure it in such a way that for every time frame, for every 3 quarters, this report should be going to this particular individual. So this can be an external, it can be an internal resource personnel so that they can check themselves. Every 3 quarters, it goes to that particular individual. If it is a bank, they have third-party auditors. If it's a government startups, they also have their own auditors to check for internal usage. So open that can configure an automated reporting to these kinds of resource personnel without them coming to meet you, they're already getting it. How often do you generate performance or uptime reports for stakeholders? How often? So this is where you can ask questions like this. Is it monthly? Is it daily? Is it weekend? Is it at business working hours? And they might tell you, okay, do it at the weekend, they do it monthly, and that is not a problem. The upmanager Plus can do all of this for you in a PDF format, in an Excel format, or a CSV format, in all kinds of formats as they would want. These are the 3 major formats that are out there that most times they would like: PDF, Excel, and CSV. So are there plans to expand your infrastructure in the next 12 to 24 months? If it is a yes, no problem. The second, the up manager capacity, take all of that. Yes, of course, the up manager is scalable. You can go horizontally or vertically. You can, when I mean by horizontally, you can go up or down. You can increase your number of devices. You can reduce the number of devices. Horizontally, you can pay for the modules you want. You can stop paying for the modules that you would not need. It's just for the clients to enjoy this product. So are there plans to expand your infrastructure? You can ask them questions like this. So that will now give you a more insight. They might even tell you, okay, let me go for the Up Manager Plus. The bandwidth, I'll see if I want it. Or the NCM, I'll see if I want it. And that is where you can also come in for cross-selling. And they might start monitoring their bandwidth and their Up Manager. And they may just call you and ask you, can I know what is happening on my firewall? I want to see what is happening on my firewall, my security device. So if there are plans to do all of this, the Up Manager is very scalable in both horizontal and in the vertical aspect. Do you want a monitoring tool that can scale easily as your environment grows? Just like I said earlier, they can scale up, they can scale down, they can scale horizontally or vertically. So they might be using OpManager Plus. And now inside OpManager Plus, they only paid for OpManager and NetFlow. They might see the firewall analyzer module and they will just click on it. So this is where you can assure them that why not go for a trial process while their license is still active. So for that free trial period, they can now explore it and see if they would want it. At most times, I myself have encountered that this client, they want it. They might not know that they want it now. Until they go in themselves and see what it can do, they'll now say, okay, yes, I want it. So do you want a monitoring tool that can easily, that can scale easily as your environment grows? Yes, if it is a yes, the OpManager tool is the best fit. If it's also a no, you can advise and give examples, just like I said. And in most cases, they usually convince the clients to go for it. Especially if you mention it is free, the free trial. Like, okay, they don't need to do anything, they can test it themselves. So in most cases, it means the deal's over. So moving forward, do you currently use any ITSM tools like Service Desk, Jira, Zendesk, and the likes? Yes, you ask them these questions. If they said yes, they should say no. Gives you options to cross-sell or no. It also gives you an option to further drill down. The OpManager can integrate with all of the listed items or all of the third-party applications out there. And if there's any that cannot be integrated, you can reach out to the developers and they will generate a customized script and will make this possible. So as it's happening on OpManager, it is alerting all of these third-party tools that this has happened, this has happened. Who is the engineer attached to this incident? Do you need your monitoring solutions to integrate with ticketing system automation tools? So you also ask these questions. Like I said earlier just now, as it's happening on the OpManager, it is sending it out to the third-party tools, assigning tickets. The tickets are being handled by a particular user in the environment. So it's an automated process. It only needs a one-time configuration. Your manager can do all of this for you, sir. Manager can do all of this for you. Can do all of this for you, ma'am. Are there custom workflows you would like to automate? Notifications, ticketing creation, or device provisioning? They might say yes, they might say no. Some might even say, please, can you explain more? So I'll give an example. With the OpManager, you can configure a workflow that send me an alert, inform the third-party application, and let it be assigned to an engineer. Generate the report also for this, for auditing purpose, and send an SMS, just depending on the kind of custom workflow that the client would have. It's like you telling the OpManager, once this has happened, take these necessary steps. Take step one. After step one, take step two, step three. Take step one. If it does not have step 1A, don't take steps 2 anymore. Just jump to step 3. That's those kinds of automated workflow. So once you ask questions like this, you're trying to engage the client, you're trying to bring them to your own ideal stand. So do you have any SLA requirements regarding network performance and uptime? You can also ask these questions like this. How do you handle disaster recovery and high availability today? How do you recover such aspect like that? Do you have a backup plan? Do you currently have is your monitoring application, does it have a backup plan that if it should go down, is there a replica that can pick this up? You can ask questions like that and also assure them, because the OpManager Plus also has high availability and recovery. So the OpManager Plus can do all of this. For every configuration, it's going to back those configuration up. Now imagine like a data center getting burnt and there are configurations on the network device, OpManager can back up these configurations and have them stored in a particular directory folder or in a particular location so that they can go in and revert back to that state. Would you like analytics that will help predict failures before they can occur? In most questions like this, it is yes. They like to see a forecast. They like to see a prediction. OpManager also offers features like this on the bandwidth level, on the server monitoring levels, give them a forecast. If you have consumed 40 gig for this month, you're more likely to consume 40 gig next month or 38 gig next month within that time frame. OpManager Plus has that basic basic predictions. So, and also we have a third party to called Analytics Plus. It also gives you more opportunity to cross-sell. What Analytics Plus can do is if the client has other application, it will fetch all of their data in one dashboard. That is another aspect you can check online for it. The ManageEngine Analytics Plus. Do you have a budget allocated for monitoring tool this year? What is your timeline for evaluating deploying a new monitoring solution? So do you have a budget allocated for it? This falls within you and the clients on the personal level. So they can open up to you and just is to assure them that, okay, we can work with this particular budget you have and also ensure that we are delivering the best quality of services with the products for you. What is the timeline? You can ask them, okay, for this timeline, can you give us a timeline we can work with you and ensure we're able to deploy this as the proposed or the agreed timeline? But I'll tell you, it takes minimum of 2 weeks, maximum of 3 weeks to deploy the OpManager in a particular environment. It only takes more than that if it's for enterprise environment. If they're having more than 2 branches, let's say they have like 5, and those 5 branches, they have like 100 devices in each locations. So that can take longer time. So with this, I believe you can be able to ask questions like this and also explain more. So we all have a lot of resources that you can review for that. We have solutions book, we have data sheets, we have flyers, we have brochures, we have demo links, we have overall videos, we have recording, we have proposals, we have solution selling links. We also have digital deal register portal. So we have all of these as disposal, and you can easily get them. It is free. You can get them and check them on your own, making you ready, just like the saying says, just like the saying goes rather, the more you are prepared for a particular aspect, the better you can perform that sort of thing. So at this moment, I would like to thank everyone. We would welcome questions. If there are questions, I'm very much happy to take them for you.
All right, thank you, AY. Thank you for that insightful presentation. All right, so just to add to what AY have said, we have OpManager and OpManager Plus. So I think most times the partner tends to mix it up. We have OpManager and OpManager Plus, right? So OpManager is a network monitoring solution, right? While OpManager Plus encompasses the network monitoring, net flow analyzer, IP address monitoring, firewall analyzer, and network configuration manager. So the Plus itself make it 5-in-1 solution. So if a client or your client requests for a network monitoring solution only, then you have to recommend OpManager to the customer, right? But if the request is tailored into network monitoring, performance monitoring, net flow analyzer, firewall analyzer, that all the features that encompass the OpManager Plus, then you sell the OpManager Plus to the client. So it's very, very important that you note the difference between the OpManager and OpManager Plus, because client tends to miss it all, right? So the functionality is quite different, though it's the same network monitoring solution, but what you expect to get for OpManager Plus is not what you see in OpManager, right? For example, and let me just add a little to the licensing model, right? For the OpManager, we have the standard edition and the professional. We have the standard edition, professional edition, and the enterprise edition, right? So the standard edition, professional edition, and the enterprise edition. So let me break down the features of the standard edition. For the standard edition, the things that you get if you subscribe to the standard edition of the OpManager Plus or OpManager, you get network discovery, availability monitoring, network devices monitoring, physical server monitoring, interface monitoring, process and services monitoring, alarm and notification, business view, and custom and user-specific dashboard. You get that if you subscribe to the standard edition of the OpManager. While for the professional edition, you have this following feature in addition to the features of the standard edition, right? So for the features that you're going to get in addition to the standard edition is the advanced network discovery. In this case now, if you remember, I said for the standard edition, you get network discovery. For the professional edition, you will be getting advanced network discovery, agent-based monitoring, virtual server monitoring, hardware monitoring, network path analysis, workflow automation. So if you can recall from what AY said earlier about the workflow automation, the reason you are asking those questions is for you to ascertain which of the edition that the client want to go for, right? So the questions that they ask will determine if it is standard edition or a professional edition or the enterprise edition. So you get workflow and automation, you get user management, you get troubleshooting tools and reports. You also get intuitive and consolidated reports. Privilege-based user management is also part of it. But for the enterprise edition, right, AY said something earlier that something that relates to, do you want to monitor multiple sites, right? Once the feedback from the client is yes, meaning that they have different branches, that means that they will need a distributor server to link each of these branches. Then you know that the client will need to go for the enterprise edition. So every of the features I've mentioned for both standard edition and professional edition, plus all this I want to mention enterprise edition as the features you get if you subscribe to the enterprise edition. One, distributed network monitoring. Because they want to monitor different branches, they will have this feature for the enterprise edition. High availability and scalability. This AY mentions things that relates to this. For high availability and scalability, you get that in the enterprise version of the solution. Real-time alert and multiple sites. Real-time alert from multiple sites. You get it for the enterprise edition. So if your customer or your client wants to get this solution, these features are the things that you should consider. By the time you ask all the questions that is listed in the presentation slide, right, you would have ascertained if it's the standard, professional, or the enterprise edition they intend to go for. And mind you, Once the number of device is 250, then automatically your request turns to Enterprise Edition. Enterprise Edition starts from 250, except for special case that will go lesser than that, but it's 250 Enterprise device starts from. So a key takeaway for today's session is that you should understand that OpManager Plus is quite different from OpManager. OpManager is network monitoring solution, right? It's specifically network monitoring solution, capacity monitoring solution, capacity performance monitoring solution, right? But OpManager Plus encompasses both network monitoring, IP address monitoring, net flow analyzer, which is bandwidth monitoring, firewall analyzer, which is firewall monitoring, and also network configuration manager. These are 5 solutions in one. Also, note that each solution I've just mentioned can be a standalone, can be purchased as a standalone. If the client tends to want to go for just bandwidth monitoring, then you can sell a net flow analyzer solution to them. If they want to go for IP address monitoring, you can sell outages to them. If they want to go for network configuration management alone, they want to ascertain who made changes in their network configuration. They want to get backup on what happened for all the configuration that have been done within the organization. Then you sell NCM, Network Configuration Manager. If they want to monitor the firewalls, then you sell Firewall Analyzer to them. And if the client just want to monitor network availability, then you sell OpManager Plus, OpManager to them. But if it is just IP address monitoring, then you will have to sell the outages, right? You want to know all the IP that have been assigned to the users and those IP that are left to be used. You want to ascertain this. That's what outages does. So this is just for us to know that some of these solutions that we've mentioned so far can be a standalone, right? And it can be sold as a bundle. OpManager Plus is a bundle solution. OpManager is a single solution, right? So the key advantage we have in selling the ManageEngine OpManager Plus, like EY mentioned, is the fact that one is scalable. It's very much scalable. You can start from a small number and progress to the higher number. So it's actually scalable. You can buy from 50 devices and increase to 251,000 devices, right? And it's affordable. Affordable in the sense that you can get 5 in one solution just at the purchase of one solution, right? No OEM does that. If you want to monitor firewall, they will sell a different solution to you. Because of the affordability, it put us in a better position in the market place, right? So once you are competing with the other OEMs, we have better advantage in terms of pricing because one is affordable, and the fact that you can also integrate the solution at ease, right? The ease or seamless integration of the solution is also put us in a better position in the client's face, right? So it can be integrated with the service desk clause, right, which is also from the same OEM. It can be integrated with Analytic Plus, right? Analytic Plus is a reporting tool that helps you to get a custom kind of report, management type of report. And as you mentioned, you can get that in CSV file and Excel and different formats. With that, you will be able to get a very informed report on what has happened within the solution. it can be integrated with that. And the Analytics Plus is very cheap compared to its competitor, Power BI, that requires an expert to actually operate on the solution. But with Analytics Plus, you don't need to start writing script to be able to access or to use the Analytics Plus. These are the advantage that we have over other OEM. Customization is another thing. Customization, you can create a dashboard of your own, and you have different over 200 performance widgets that you can get with the OpManager Plus dashboard. So it's important that you have that as one of those key advantage that you have over other OEM. So right now we'll be taking questions. Please, if you do have a question pertaining to what has been said so far, please raise up your hands and be happy to answer your question. While we're doing that, we'll also try and see if we can answer some of the questions that have been asked in the chat. Otherwise, also, maybe you can also send the survey. I sent you the link. We'll be sharing a survey to you shortly. This is just for us to get the feedback on the training that have been done for over 3 days. And so it's for us to also serve you better. Please kindly do fill the survey just to help us serve you better. Right? So we have some questions from Mr. Akinide. And this question goes like this. Is there a trial version of the OpManager Plus? Yes, you do have trial version of the OpManager Plus. If you want a trial version, reach out to me. We'll give you 1 month of the trial, so you can use within your client environment, and also get feedback after which. What's different between OpManager Plus and other solution? I think I made mention of that just now. I just gave some differences, the advantage we have, and AY said something as regards in terms of the licensing. If you are licensing OpManager Plus, we just ask you the number of devices. The number of devices. If you say 150 devices, it covers for both the network devices, applications, and other things that you have in-house. For example, the OpManager Plus is a 5-in-1 bundle, a 5-in-1 solution. So that 150 devices covers for even the IP address, the NetFlow interface, and the IP address, the NetFlow interfaces, and the firewall. They come with a default numbers, right? Except if you want to now increase the number of the firewall or the interfaces, you can now request for an additional number. But that requesting for a certain number of devices alone covers for this. Unlike other OEM that you have to start paying for each interfaces. He explained this already, that once a device interfaces, a single device can have up to 5 interfaces. So with that, you can see how expensive it's going to look like. But for the OpManager Plus, it's not like that. It's licensed based on number of devices, not interfaces, which is people tend to call nodes. So we have our advantage, competitive advantage is the fact that it's customizable, very cheap in the market. It's a seamless integration, and for the fact that is also scalable, right? You can increase your numbers, you can decrease, nobody stops you from increasing and decrease. I don't know if I've answered all the questions. Could you please help me check if I've... Okay, so we have the survey. The link is already there. Please click on the link. Kindly fill and tell us so we can get feedback to serve you better. Right, like he rightly mentioned, we have solution group. We have data sheet on this solution, the OpManager Plus solution. We have link to which you can also understand more about the solution. We have proposal. Should you want to start engaging your client, please reach out to me for a proposal, a proposal that will be tailored to your request. We can have that done and share with you. We are here to serve you. We also want you to sell. So please reach out to us if you need any of this proposal. You can start engaging your client now so that by next year you'll be in their budget. There's a question that came in just now. Can you please check? Users are going to set up for them. I can't get that. I don't know if I can see it. You can see it from my head. You get that from Monsieur.
It's very simple. So the mode the users are going to set up. Okay. Are you asking if we are going to set up for the user? If to configure, yes, we do provide support to configure the OpManager in the client's environment. And the trial version is 30 days. So once it expires again, we can ask for a grace of an extension so the client can continue using this. So if they should pay for, it is 1 year.
Yes, yes.
So it's 1 year if you're asking for the payments expiry.
So we have two models of subscription. You can get a subscription license of it or a perpetual license. So if you subscribe to the subscription license, it means that you'll be making payments yearly. So once I pay for the license by January this year, any come next January next year, I should be renewing the license. But perpetual license is one-off. Partial license is one-off. What you be requested to do from the OEM is for you to pay the AMS charges, which is for maintenance and support of the solution. Though it is one-off, right? So the AMS charges is more like a token actually, and so it's not expensive. So, and comparing the perpetual license and the subscription license, if I want to compare it, it's more like subscription license is 1/5 of it, that is of the perpetual license. So meaning that the perpetual license is pretty much expensive if you want to go by that. But either of both licenses are available. The client can decide to go with any. So we await your questions. Please fill in the survey questions. We have the link on the chat. Please help us so that we can help you. Okay, so we are going to allow you to use that. We're going to allow you to. Okay, yes, Mr. Mansour wants to ask a question. Admin, could you please unmute Mr. Mansour? Hello, admin. Questions from Sonia. Yes, we do have perpetual license for the OpManager. We also have for the OpManager Plus. Mr. Mansour, we're working on how to unmute you. We'll do that shortly. Admin, please unmute Mr. Mansour.
Mr. Please could you check if you can unmute your mic on your end?
Hello, sir. Hello, good
Yes.
afternoon, everyone. Yeah, thank you very much so for the training. Now, company-wide, the activities are different from one another. And in these modern times of AI, that most of the companies were trying to looking for AI solution that tailor to that will aid their processes. Though I've seen a scenario where they will tell you, what they need is an AI solution based automate most of their process that will make their work seamless. Like maybe, for instance, I'll get rid of documents and all of that. Did you also provide? Because what I can see for what the training tailors to majorly network infrastructure, network monitoring, and what have you, which is very key, and also part of what's it called? It's also my lines of profession, which is very key. So I'm just bringing in this that do you have solution that tailor to that also? Are you getting my question right?
Yes, Mr. Manshun. Yes. Yes, so the OpManager comes with its own AI, its own machine learning. Not fully the AI like the ChatGPT, but its own on the network aspect that can help the clients like this. Of course, the manager in itself is involving the trends around. So this AI can work in such a way that it will analyze what the client has, then it will configure its own threshold for the client to configure its own pressure. So it has an AI that can monitor all of this as a base, then now apply its own remediation. But not a full AI, not a full AI like the ChatGPT.
Like an embedded AI.
Yes, like an embedded AI in it.
Thank
So
you.
I believe
Mr. What's it called? There's this Mr. What's it called? I would like to have your contact. I think I've dropped it in the chat, but because I have this client from what's it called, Finland, that is also I'm also into sales applications and all of that. So it's also it has a solution base that is a one unified solution that can work for banks most likely, which of course I was we'd like to have a discussion regarding that with you, maybe after this session, so that are you getting my question?
You have my contact. You have my number.
No, I don't have your contact. I think I dropped the chat.
Okay, I will drop
chat
my number now.
7035220423. All right, sir.
Yes, by email.
All right. Yeah.
Also send to channel at freelancer.com. Do you have any of the chat them? I think someone said it's having a challenge. You guys is survey. Come here. See. Okay, so okay, so I got your feedback. Yes, I got your feedback, Mr. Akin. I got your feedback, Mr. Oluwafemi, on the survey. All right, we'll work on it and we'll get back to you. We have your data information, so we're going to send it to you again to see. We're going to check where the issue is coming from. We'll get back to you. All right, so okay. Yes, definitely. We're going to work on it before I share back to you guys. All right, so thank you everyone for taking out time to join this webinar. Thank you. I believe that it's been so much of insightful feedback so far, and also we really understood how to pitch the solution. So this is going to be like a series. We've done justice to Service Desk Plus, OpManager, and Log 360. And our next will be on the Endpoint Center. That will be in our next webinar, but not this year. This tends to be the last webinar that we're going to have for the year 2025. I want to thank every one of us that have joined this webinar. We want to really appreciate you for taking our time to join. Please reach out to me if you need clarification on what I've been said. And also, if you want to understand further about the ManageEngine solution, it could be the OpManager Plus solution. You can reach out to me. We can also schedule a presentation, more like a training for your team to put them through the solution. Please reach out to me. I've shared my emails and my password and my contact number on the chat. Please do reach out to me if you need any clarification on what I've been said. Lastly, I want to thank every one of us from the team here that have also helped to make this happen. I want to thank the communication team. I want to thank the technical team, person of AY. Thank you, the Homes team. Thank you for the partner that have joined. We want to wish you a pleasant weekend ahead. Have a wonderful day. AY, do you have any last comments?
Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, everyone. We have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye for now. So just to let you know, we are going to send you a recording of the training. We're going to send it to you. If you don't get any of this recording, please reach out to me. I'll ensure that you get every of the training or the recording of the session. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.